Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. I've got two cracking recipes for you today. I cannot wait to share them with you. Chicken mole to start with. So Mexican inspired one pot dish. They're the best, aren't they? It's full of flavor, it's easy to cook, and it's versatile. It can be kind of summery and light and eaten in the garden, or it can be rich and delicious and comforting, whatever you need it to be. And then to follow, I'm gonna make a beautiful fresh raspberry and lime syllabub. So it's like a mousse, a little bit lighter. The raspberries are fresh in the garden. It's gonna be incredible. So chicken mole, now it is a wonderful Mexican dish. It's got full of flavor. You could make it with pork, chicken, whatever you fancy really. I've seen people do it even with fish. It's incredible. It's great because you can kind of just tuck in. You can have it with rice, you can have it in tacos, wraps, whatever you like. So we're gonna start with, I've got 3 chicken breasts here. They are skinless and boneless, okay? And I've got my non-stick pan just heating up now. So this is my cast aluminium pan. Brilliant, absolutely love these pans. Use them all the time, highly recommend them. Right, so it is just preheating. Now, we're gonna start with our spices first. Okay, so I've got some cumin seeds, all right? I am just gonna toss those into the pan and I'm just gonna warm them up like we did last week actually. When we did the lamb and nectarine kebabs, we toasted all the spices and really got them going. So I'm just gonna warm them through. What I've also got is some cinnamon. You could use ground cinnamon if you want. I'm gonna use a stick today. And then I've got smoked paprika, and like the trinity of those flavors together are gonna really come through in this dish and give it that authentic flavor. So, had a mole before, Emily?
I think we had it once before, but a very long time ago. I think
Yeah,
we made it, and I was a bit confused as to what it was, but it was like...
Did you think it had mole in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You got to pronounce it right, otherwise people think you're eating moles. So, just as these, are we looking at those spices there?
We are.
Can you hear that? Just as they start to crackle and make that little noise, whip them off, get them into the pestle and mortar, put the pan back on, because there's flavour in there, we don't want to lose that. And then I'm going to get a little bit of salt, and then we're just going to crack these and grind them down. Okay, now if you haven't got cumin seeds, don't worry, use ground cumin, that's okay. It's just when you use the seeds and you toast them, you bring all the flavours out and you get more flavour for your money.
Are these spices that you're using, could you put them in a little pot and then just use like teaspoons of it?
You could, but the fresher your spices, the fresher your dish would be. So, like I've got toasted cumin seeds up there, I only toast what I need. So that, it, you know, you can smell it from here, can't you? Yeah, the flavour, the aroma is there straight away. So, let's just get our cumin and just dust the chicken in the cumin. There we go. And then paprika. Love smoked paprika. It is where all the flavour is. It's fantastic. Got our cinnamon there. And then we're just going to season up the chicken as well a little bit. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Then into the pan. So, pan's been getting hot. Let's get a little bit of oil in there. We don't need a lot because it's, you know, these are non-stick cast aluminium pans. They are not going to stick. But what we want to do is just get really good flavour in here. So once the pan is hot, lift the chicken, the seasoning side down, straight in. Okay? In. All 3 of them in with the cinnamon, and then the remaining spices, just pop them in. Don't let anything go to waste, okay?
Is it an advantage using chicken breast, or can you use chicken thighs? Or?
I am a big fan of chicken thighs. I think it works really well. It takes longer to cook with chicken thighs, and personally, you know, I would go for that. But chicken breast was what I got today, so that's what we're cooking them with. Chicken thighs take longer to cook, they have more flavour, slightly fattier. Chicken breasts, very lean. So if you're trying to be sort of healthier, then these are the ones to go for. So, we've got some red onions, okay? Nice and sweet. We're going to cut them into 8s. And I'm going to leave them just to try and try and hold their shape a bit, really. If you chop them up really, really fine, they'll cook really, really quickly. Whereas if I cut them into quarters and then in again, they'll kind of hold their shape and they'll take the same length of time to cook as the chicken. Okay? I use red onions quite a lot, especially in the summer. They're just a little bit milder. So in they go. And now I've got some of these lovely sweet red peppers. Now you could just use your normal everyday pepper if you wanted to. I popped down to my supermarket and I got these today. They're much sweeter. They're really, really nice. Just remove the seeds. All right, and I'm not going to chop this up really, really fine because, again, I don't want them to disappear in the mole. I want them to be there. I want people to know that they're actually eating these lovely sweet peppers. Sometimes they're called bell peppers. So that can go in as well. Now, we like a little bit of kick here in this kitchen, don't we? So we're going to go with a red chilli, totally optional. If you want it, put it in. If you don't, don't. Okay?
Doesn't matter what colour you use, because people always prefer to
red
use
chili.
red or green.
I prefer red chilies. I prefer the flavour, and they're slightly milder than the green ones. I find them quite harsh, green.
Yeah.
But it's personal choice. I mean, if you've got some chili flakes you want to use those. It's okay. But I think, you know, this is quite a robust dish. It's got guts. It needs, you know, it needs some big, bold flavours. Right, let's just get my tongs and have a quick look at the chicken.
Smells
Oh,
good.
nice. Look at that. See, by not turning it and not messing about with it, you get that lovely caramelisation on there. And all the flavours are starting to get going now. Starting to work. Now, in with our chilli. Now, I'm putting coriander in. I like coriander. It's incredibly authentic for this dish. But I'm just going to put the stalk in at this stage. If you don't like coriander, don't put it in, all right? That's not a problem. So the stalk has got bags and bags of flavour, but it does need to cook. So we're just going to chop it up and put it in at the beginning. And then at the end, we'll finish with the leaf. In it goes.
I think people seem to forget that coriander stalk has a lot of flavour in it.
Oh, loads more flavour than the leaf. See, you do listen to me, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey?
I'm
We all
learning.
thought she was just sitting there nodding at me, but she listens.
Oh.
Right. Smells good, that, doesn't it? Right, so, while that is cooking, put the lid on there, get everything going. We're going to put a can of beer in, all right? And then we're going to put in some tomatoes. So a good tin of chopped tomatoes. And the only reason why I've just closed the lid on there is just to get the heat in, because I want to boil the alcohol away from the beer really quickly. All right? In it goes. Ready?
Yeah.
Once you hit that pan with the beer, the flavour then all starts to marry together. And this is where it starts to get good, all right?
Oh, it's making me smell it already.
In with our tomatoes, and then just a little bit of water in your tin. Don't want to waste any. Give it a swirl round, and in it goes. There we go. Perfect. Right, that's it. How quick was that? How long have we been filming?
10 minutes.
10 minutes in cooking. It's going to take another 10, 12 minutes to cook. That is it. All we're going to do is finish that with one special secret little ingredient at the end, and we're done. Okay? So,
Is it something you could serve like as a small portion with like rice or?
yeah, totally. I mean, you could serve it with rice, potato wedges. You could serve them with in tacos, because you can take the chicken out, shred it up, put it all back in. You could just eat it as it is. You know, you could do burritos. You can kind of do whatever you want to do with it. So it's well worth kind of doubling up, making more than you need, because then you can just pop it into a container into the freezer and whip it out when you're a bit short of time. We've actually got some incredible stainless steel containers that can go in the freezer, then in the microwave, and then in the oven. They're brilliant. Right, let's just give this a little stir. Get those tomatoes mixed all the way through. Smells good, doesn't it? Such an easy dish to do as well. I mean, people talk to me all the time. They say, oh, I don't have time to cook, but 10 minutes, it's in the pan. It's cooking. Then you can go off and do everything else. Anyway, right. Dessert. Really, really simple, delicious, full of flavour. Love this one. So we're going to make a syllabub, okay? And it sits with fresh raspberries. All right, so it's all about capturing this lovely fresh raspberry flavour. You can use frozen as well.
Can you use any other fruits other than raspberries?
Yeah, absolutely. Really good question. So we're using raspberries because they're fresh, they're in season, they're delicious at the moment. But a syllabub is very much about a sort of a light mousse. It's all about trying to create a lovely texture, a nice creamy light mousse that can carry flavours. So you could do a rhubarb one, you could do blackberry, strawberry, raspberry, lemon, you know, lemon curd, syllabubs, kind of all sorts, chocolate ones, whatever you like. I think it's more of a bit of a posh word for a mousse, really.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice, if you haven't got time or you've forgotten to do a dessert, you don't need many ingredients to impress. So, fresh raspberries, and then I've got some lime juice, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit of icing sugar. That's not icing sugar. That's icing sugar. And that'll just sort of take the sweetness and get the sweetness balanced with the acidity from the raspberry and the limes. So if I just mix that together, can you see that all right? Are we looking at that overhead?
We are.
All right. So I'm just using the back of my spoon just to get those flavours together. And then once you've just sort of broken them down a bit and the raspberries are releasing their flavour and their juices, grab a sieve, pop them in. So grab a sieve and just pop the raspberries and lime in and just use the back of your spoon and just press it through. What we're trying to do is get all the flavour but none of the seeds, okay?
Do the seeds just kind of ruin the texture?
Well, they just get right in your teeth. I mean, if you don't mind them, leave them in. I mean, it's not going to not work. It's just,
You'll
you know.
there later, picking them out.
Yeah, you'll be picking them out till Tuesday. Cursing me. So I just use the back of my spoon and just press them out. It's like, it's a 2-minute job. It's not a biggie.
It goes a lovely colour, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lovely flavour as well. What you can do to use these up as well, actually, is you could buy some white distilled vinegar, put this in and leave it for a couple of days in a preserving jar, pass it back through a sieve, and then you've got a beautiful raspberry vinegar. So you could then make some nice sort of fruity dressings and all sorts of stuff. So it's, you know, it doesn't have to go to waste.
You think of everything. There's a recipe in everything you use.
Well, there's always a way. Chefs are very good at keeping things. And it just, like, often leftovers make the best dishes and the best ideas. And like in commercial kitchens, you're under so much pressure to make a profit. You need to try and create profit wherever you can. Right, so we've got some double cream here. And I'm just going to pour that in. That'll do, that's enough. And then I'll move that out of the way, Carlos, because I know it's in his way. And then I'll just give it a quick whip. We don't need a lot, it's just a nice soft whip. And then just whisk it up, see if you can get some air into it. Just want a nice soft peak. So I've whipped up my double cream. It's just soft whip. It's not like piping texture. It's just as it starts to thicken, okay? Let's pop that to one side. Now, let's grab another bowl. And we want to get a light aerated texture in there. So what we're going to do is just get an egg white. We can save the yolk for something else. Keep it, make an extra delicious omelette tomorrow. Buy that extra egg yolk, okay? Pop that there, and then little tip for you, like the tiniest little bit of salt will help break down an egg white and whip it up much quicker, okay? It's not about making it salty, it's about whipping up the egg white and breaking it down so that you can get it aerated really quick. So I'm just going to add 1 spoon of caster sugar into here. Right, I'm going to whip this up. Poppy, do you want to come and try? Right, Poppy loves cream. She's obsessed with it. Raspberry and lime puree. Can you pour that into there and just stir it together for me?
What would you like to start with?
With a spoon. Just stir it together. Now fold it together, don't sort of beat it, yeah? That's it. Okay, and then we're just going to add a little bit of meringue to it, Pops, to kind of lighten it up. All right, you fancy this for your pudding?
Yeah.
You like a cream dessert, don't you? So can you see, Emily, that it's now got a really nice, vibrant pink colour to it from the raspberries. So we've got flavour here. What we then need to do is add the whisked up egg white to then give it lightness, okay? Let's just get the last few little bits out of there. Right, hang on, just pop that over to one side. And then I'm gonna just take the egg, such a small amount, but it makes just a lovely little difference, okay? So, do you remember how to fold?
Yeah.
Yeah, so turn the spoon one way and the bowl the other way. And you stir it and then cut it in.
Just click on them both because they'll both time out at the same time.
Do you need me to do this one?
Yes, please.
What do I do? Just,
Press the...
is that done it?
Should be it.
Just wait for it to stop shaking. Right, so stir about your raspberries again.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we've just got the last few raspberries here. So I think if we just pop those into the bottom, then once you sort of tuck through it and you get stuck into it, you get the lovely fresh raspberries as well at the bottom. Okay, how is it looking?
It's all mixed.
Do you want to give it a taste? Yeah. All right, use that spoon, then I'll get another one to serve it up with. Blimey. Is it good? All right, you have that. And I will get the rest of it. Okay. So, spoon the mixture straight into the glasses, really gently. And that is pretty much all you need to do with this dish. It's super simple. It's a couple of ingredients. There we go. It can be done in advance. Sorry?
It's a lovely colour.
It is. It's got that. It's almost like a peachy pink, isn't
Yeah.
it? They'll sit in the fridge, no problem. So it's a good one to get done in advance. Or if you've forgotten to do a dessert, you can knock it up in a couple of minutes.
Something you could like serve with like if you had like shortbread biscuits or...
Yeah, for sure. Go really nicely with a bit of crunch.
Yeah.
Or even if you had a little bit of meringue, you could just sprinkle it on the
Yeah.
top and it'd be like, oh, amazing. So let's pop those desserts over there. Back to the chicken mole. All right. It's just been ticking over, cooking nicely. All right. It's looking good and smelling amazing. Now, the last thing I want to add to this is some dark chocolate. Now, 70% chocolate. You can't add milk chocolate to this. It doesn't work. You need that dark bitterness. And all you need, I think in the recipe it says 30 grams, okay? That's all you need. So you can eat the rest, so that's a bit of a bonus. And it just, what it does is it just makes it sort of a bit darker and a bit richer. It brings all the flavours together and it kind of thickens the sauce a little bit and just makes it better. And that's kind of, I mean, mole is very sort of chocolate chili kind of sauce, the Mexicans. I mean, chocolate was a savoury ingredient before it became a sweet one. And you can see the colour change in it now. It's gone that sort of darker brown. It's less like a tomato sauce now, and it is now a mole. And the chicken has just poached in that sauce, so it is completely cooked, ready to go. Just gonna have a little taste. Maybe just a little bit of salt in there, just to bring that seasoning up. Always season your food as you go. and that will just bring that together now. Now I'm going to serve this with some sour cream, lime, and then always that fresh coriander at the end. And I think maybe a little squeeze of lime as well would be really, really nice with this. I'm going to serve up some tacos, and it'll be absolutely perfect. Now, if you want the recipe from today's show, go to masterclass.co. So a new website location, www.masterclass.co. You will find our recipes there. They're really easy to find on that site. So make sure you get over there and have a go. And if you want to buy any of the equipment that we use, it's cookserveandenjoy.com. But thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.